Chris, it's been a long time coming, but Fight Week is finally here after an extended break. Just tell us how you're feeling.
Feeling good. Feel dead more relaxed. I'm I've had a mellow week. Obviously, we're still going through the weight cut process, but we had to go through the quarantine and that. But I mean, this is my job. It's all part of it, and it's just a process, really. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good spirits. The weight's coming off nice. I'm excited to get in there on Saturday and put on a solid performance, a well-rounded performance.
Just taking a look back at your last fight, you fought a former Bellator champion. What did you take from that experience?
What did I take? Well, obviously I took great experience in fighting in a main event against a former champion, but I think it was a bit naive jumping at the chance to headline in a show. More was I ready to compete, especially against Brent, a guy who's such a high level fighter. So I just kept seeing the lights of Bungard main event. That was what was pushing me on. When realistically, I hadn't even trained really, and I was on holiday. I had like 3 sessions before it, so they were all the signs that I should have. But I filled in for somebody, so I didn't want to be that guy to pull it after filling in. So I just made the walk. I felt comfortable, great warm up. I was doing all right, and I hurt my elbows, nearly submitted them. So it's just one of the things, just a wee learning curve really, and I'll take the experience and we'll move on to the next one.
You had a busy 2019 and early 2020. You fought 4 times in the space of 12 months.
Yep.
Do you thrive on being constantly active, or have you seen this extended break as an opportunity to reset?
I love being active. 4 fights, that probably isn't even enough for me. I'd probably like to do 5 in a year. But in the other side of it, flip side of it, is like the rest that gives your body time to heal up for what you put your body through every day as an MMA fighter. Everybody knows the knocks and niggles, aches and pains. So it was good to get a wee rest, but you're a fighter, you're still chatting at the bit, you want to be active, you want to fight, you want to compete, and obviously these days you want to make money, because the world we live in now is just, if you don't have money, you've not got shit, you know what I mean? So I like the rest with healing up, but also I love being active. Like even from my amateur days, I'd fight so many times a year, it was unbelievable. So I think I'll want to fight as much as I can until the day I retire, probably.
We know you as a fighter that brings a lot of energy to fight night, and the crowd really seems to respond to that. Have you prepared for a very different atmosphere on Saturday?
So I was my teammate's corner in Abu Dhabi, and there was still a wee bit of an atmosphere. And then I watched the show on Saturday night in Milan, the first show, and I couldn't hear anything. And I was like, that's got to be interesting. I could hear the feet work in the canvas and the corner clear as day. And I thrive off big crowds. Like, I've got a big audience. I've got a lot of fans that make a lot of noise and sing and create an atmosphere. And I thrive off that. I walk out there, I look at the fans, I interact a wee bit. So it could play a factor. Obviously, when you're in there, your tunnel vision, you're focused on your opponent, but I don't know how the walk's got to be. That would be the interesting thing, the walk, and hearing your announcer just announce you to an echo, basically. So it's definitely got to be interesting. So I'll give you my honest opinion after the fight.
Jake Jones.
Hi, Chris. Jake Jones here. One question that is something that I think we all want answered. Bellator MMA have really got hold of the Scottish MMA scene at the moment, and there's no doubt that we can get a card made. We've got obviously yourself, Ross Houston, Chris Duncan, Robert Whiteford. So just how do we get Bellator Glasgow to happen?
I don't know. I think we maybe need to pin the owners down and at knife point and make them sign a document. No, the Scottish way is obviously not a nice point, but you know what I mean. I don't know, man. I mean, I've been, since I came onto the scene in Bellator, like in Channel 5 debut, like I stole the show, and I've been, since that day, I've been begging for a Scottish show. Now I've got former world champions in Ross fighting MVP, Chris Duncan's on a tear, as you mentioned, Rob Whiteford, great last couple of seconds finish as well. We're all finished fights as well, and that's all you need really. Just tell the other rest of the cards with your Irish, your Welsh, your English, and it'll sell out. I know for a fact my fans would sell that show out. Be it be the Hydro, the STC, any venue. You just have to take a little wee bit of faith on the Scottish fans, because they generate an atmosphere like no other. Like I'm in a big crowd every week. Well, I was before COVID. There's Celtic games, and I've got a lot of fans that like to bring an atmosphere. So, and I'm not the only one. So,
absolutely. Well, I totally agree with you. Celtic fans always bring the atmosphere. And if there's a Bellator Glasgow event, will you be wearing the Celtic shirt around there to get the crowd going?
Of course, I wore it out in Dublin, and it got a great reception. I would love to wear it in Glasgow, obviously, but only when the COVID's away. Like you're not got to go to Glasgow when it's an empty arena, because that would just be a waste. You've got to Glasgow when every seat is sold, and every seat would be sold if I'm on the card and a few of my teammates.
Absolutely. So, talking about Saturday night, what's your prediction? How do you see yourself finishing the fight?
I see myself finishing the fight with strikes, actually, with elbows, maybe a knee in there. Obviously, my opponent's a solid judo black belt, very athletic, southpaw, quite awkward. But I can see me hurting him, or taking him down, beating him up a bit, and him just breaking, and then me putting him away. If he wants to give me a submission, I like a submission, but I want to move about in the feet, get the strikes going a bit, and pick him apart, then see how the fight plans out there. You have 1,000 ways in your head that you think the fight's got to go, and sometimes it doesn't go that way. So that's the way I'd like it to go.
Gareth?
Hi Chris, how are you doing? This is Gareth A. Davis here from the Daily Telegraph in London.
Well, of course it is.
Are you deliberately wearing your mask upside down, by the way?
Am I? Maybe I'll keep on listening.
No, it looks amazing. No, it looks amazing outside. Chris, one of the things you talked about just now, and you're a very honest person about your emotions when you're fighting, is something that I think we all enjoy about you, and it's part of the reason why there's so much joy when you fight. I know it's obviously very tough, but there's a joy about you when you fight. Did you find lockdown tough in any way?
No, not really. Obviously, certain aspects there, but no, I'm quite strong-minded that way. I mean, I get this through my MMA and through my fights and cutting weight and stuff like that. I'm quite strong-minded that way with lockdown, and I always adapt and overcome certain situations. Obviously, it was a bit more drastic this one because it was globally, but no, it didn't hit me too hard, as much as I know it would hit other people. But as I say, adapt and overcome, and no, I was all right. That's quite good.
Yeah, because it's like the point Dan was making earlier on in the questions, that you were so active last year that, you being active is something that seems to suit you. And I completely agree with you. I think if you've got one target right now, it should be aiming to be the headliner when there is the first Bellator Glasgow event, because there's no doubt that you've got the character and the personality to carry an event like that, and I think bigger events get something more special out of you, don't they?
Yeah, of course. I feel like I was born to be under the main lights, the bright lights, the main events. Like growing up for amateurs and in my first early pro careers, I was always the headline in shows in Britain and Scotland and England. So, and obviously one day you want to be in the big show with the big headline, and all the media is around about you, you're on the poster and stuff like that. I just feel like I'm a headlining act, kind of like a festival event. People would come and see the headline, you know what I mean? So I just feel like when the lights are on me, like I need that. I kind of need a big audience. I need the lights on me, and I need a wee bit of pressure on me. Putting pressure on me makes me train harder, but focus more on the fight. I know if I know there's a chance that I could lose a fight, then I'm going to be more switched on. I'm going to put a lot more effort and time into it, and sometimes I need that.
You were very honest earlier on in this interview as well about saying that, you know,
honest.
Yeah, I know. But what I meant was you weren't masking anything in terms of when you watched the event on Saturday at the weekend. I was there working it. It was incredibly quiet in the arena. And that you have to watch yourself. You personally are going to be very present, knowing that it is a fight. There is no audience. There isn't that to feed off. And it sounds like you've made yourself very aware of that going into it on Saturday night.
Yeah, because you need to be, if you know aware of it yourself and you can say it out loud, then when you get in there, you're maybe got to get a fright. Like, people can act a tough guy all they want and kid on their bulletproof mentally, physically, like, but I just say it the way it is, and it could be a factor what going in there, like being so quiet and hearing everything. And I love a crowd. I can play to a crowd. I can interact with a crowd, and I can entertain a crowd. So if it's like a deadly silence and I can only hear, which maybe be a good thing, my coaches and stuff. But as I says, like I can only give my honest opinion after I do it, because it'll be one of the things that you'll need to experience it firsthand.
Andrew?
Hi, Chris. You seem to be having a bit of look at the bookies the past few weeks. I was wondering if you had any predictions or tips for anyone on the card this week.
I'll do like, see, sometimes the bookies do like a favourite bet, like the bet of the week or something like that. I'll do one of them, right? I'll bet, or I would go, if it was me, that is, I'd go, I can't touch that one. I've got conflict interest in a few of them and some friends in that, so I wouldn't want to pick that. But I don't know, I'd probably bet money in Charlie Ward knockout. Obviously, it's a big favourite probably. If he's got to win, it's probably got to be a big knockout, but probably that. I need to look at the card, to be fair.
You can tweet it to me later. I really enjoyed your documentary, and going back over, there was obviously there was one event where you came very close to taking a very different career path. Shooting that documentary and going over all those incidents, did that have any effect on your future at Bellator and what you wanted to go with your goals going forward?
A wee bit, obviously, when I was younger, I didn't grow up to be a fighter, you know what I mean? I just kind of fell into it. I actually wanted to be a fireman. I don't know why, I just wanted to save people, and now I'm in a job where I want to hurt people. It's quite the Lion King and all that, I suppose. But no, like, obviously through my first fight, then I could see that I could make a living, and then it just swung my full life about. And how I wanted to live the rest of my life and what I wanted to do with it and stuff like that. And it just got me thinking a lot more on the future, basically, like home and the family and stuff like that. So I think it definitely, like my debut in the documentary, definitely changed my life definitely for the better, as you could see, because obviously I could have went down a lot darker road.
Chris, this final question comes from Stuart over at Grassroots Boxing in London. You wanted to shout out your role with Chris's house. Given what's happening in the world, how important are these charities during the pandemic to offer advice and support to people who are suffering from mental health? And how involved have you been over the past few months?
Well, thanks for that, Stuart, anyway. So yeah, so Chrissy's house, I'm an ambassador for a small organisation in Scotland, which is great to be massive actually. It's a charity funded organisation called Chrissy's House, which deals around about suicide prevention and people with suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. So it's run by a woman called Anne Rowan, who lost her son to suicide many years ago. So she's got hundreds of basically volunteer workers that are working round the clock. There's the only place in Scotland and Britain that are open 24/7. So I'm kind of an ambassador for them. I mean, I'm not a counsellor that, I just kind of appoint people in the right direction if they need to talk to somebody, or sometimes if I can lend an ear. But yeah, so Chrissy's house, obviously in this pandemic, a lot of people are alone and they're alone with their own thoughts, and sometimes that's where the trouble happens. So yeah, Chrissy's house there 24/7 on the clock. You can Zoom call, you can phone in. Obviously you can't go in there now because of what's going on, but they're doing wonders. They're saving lives. They've helped me. They're just like a walking miracle. So if anybody's feeling down, especially in this pandemic and this time of the year, then now Chrissy's house is always there. You're not alone. You can always speak to somebody, and tomorrow's a new day. There's always light at the end of a horrible day. Just hang on in there and just speak out. Talk to somebody. Talk to me if you need to. Drop me a DM. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a lifesaver, but I can listen and I can pass on your details or pass on to somebody that can really help you.
All right, Chris, thank you very much for the time today, and good luck the rest